in the first episode, you told us that they took you in a church, and that's where you were going to start sleeping. And continue. Tell us what happened.
So they announced that we had to sell books and magazines door to door. I was like, what?
That was the job you were going to do?
Yes, I was not going to school. I had been scammed. I had been lied to by the church that I grew up in, by the people. It was crazy, like it was a big betrayal.
Wow.
Yeah. So there was no school ever.
There was no school. And the church was it a cooperation between the church here in Kenya and the church in America?
No, just the same name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but there was no cooperation between the churches.
Okay.
Yeah.
But how did they manage to say that you're going to school and when it is not school? Like they falsified the papers or what?
I got scammed. It's like they falsified because I still have those paperwork. In fact, I saw a copy of my scholarship recently at the passport house.
Yeah.
And it states that I am going to school to study guidance and counseling, and I have a full scholarship.
Exactly.
And the tuition is paid, housing is paid, food is paid.
Okay.
But when I got there was no school.
Did you ask if there's a school or not?
I did ask, and they said that I have to sell books to earn money for school.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is how we began the summer program, knocking door to door in America and talking to the Americans to sell books to them. And that was very, very interesting also, because when I left Kenya, my accent was so heavy. And many Americans, they have big dogs. Yeah. And the moment you ring the doorbell, they go, whoa, 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 whoa.
Come running.
They come running, and I am so scared, like I had been bitten by a dog in Kenya. So I feared dogs. So whenever I heard the dogs, like my blood would freeze.
Yeah.
I would knock on the doors, you ring the doorbell, and they say, hi, honey, how are you? Then we had to memorize a script.
Yeah.
So we were all saying the same things when we go to the door. Yeah. Hi, my name is Mercy. I'm a student working my way through school. Instead of junk food or magazine, let's offer something more lasting. Desire of Ages talks about the life of Jesus from the time he was born to the time he died. Talk about his ministry on earth, how he raised the dead, how he healed the sick. Books like this in the bookstore go for $80 to $100. If you just give me a donation of $20 to $30, it will really help with my schooling. So after I memorized, the whole script was maybe like 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
The Americans would be like, what did you just say, honey?
And you have to repeat.
Then I have to say again. Yes, I have to say again and again. I didn't get that, honey. I didn't get that, honey. Can you repeat yourself, honey? Yeah. Some of them would just look at me and, nigger, get away from me. I didn't even know what nigger is. I smiled at them. So Eugene realized that I was really struggling with selling the books. Yeah. Because I was the only one from Africa at the time. No, there was somebody else from Ghana. Yeah, there was a man from Ghana, but I was the only one from Kenya. But he had been in America for a while. So he realized I was struggling, so he began to train me with the American accent. He said, now your name is not Mercy, your name is Mercy. Like you have to roll. Mercy. And you're a student working. Say working.
Not working.
Not working, but working.
Oh my God. That was another problem.
The accent was a big problem. Knocking on American people's doors. So sometimes I sound like a roaring machine, like I'm just mercy. Yeah. I learned to roll my R's and to drop my N, like I'm working. You don't say I'm working. I'm working.
I'm working.
Working.
All right.
So after a while, I started to get the hang of selling the books, and at least they could hear something.
Yeah.
I also learned a secret about Americans. if you want them to buy something from you, you have to love their dogs.
And you fear dogs.
I fear dogs. So I had to like pretend and force myself to like the dogs. Oh, so now when I see the dogs, I'll be like, oh, such a cute puppy. Oh, isn't he the prettiest? And the moment you compliment their dogs, they will just give you a donation, even without buying the book. They'll be like, here's $20, honey. Here's $20, darling. It's all right, sweetheart. You can keep the books.
Yeah, white people, they love when you compliment about the dogs.
Yes.
They love dogs like
Yes.
crazy. They love dogs.
Yes, they do. They do. So I began to like the dogs. I even started to like pet the dogs, even though I was so scared. Pet the hair. Like, oh, you have the best dog ever. And so I began to like make some sales, some donations. Eventually, the Russian woman told me I was doing a very big mistake by giving Eugene Prewitt all the money. You know, I was selling the books and giving him the money of the books plus the donation money.
The donations.
Yeah, now you know Russians and Americans, they hate each other.
Yeah.
This woman like, Mercy, what are you doing? Why are you giving Eugene all the money? The donation money is supposed to be yours. I'm like, but Anna, yeah, like Anna, it is for my schooling. She was like, are you crazy? Which schooling I'm talking? That one is, you're funding Eugene's next vacation. It's not for your schooling.
Yeah.
There is no schooling. So I started to keep some donations, you know. I began to keep my donations and I started to, like, when I get a chance, send some money home. The first dollars, sending to. So I continued selling the books throughout the summer.
Were they paying you?
No, he was keeping all the money.
He was not paying?
No, apparently the money was for our schooling.
Ah, it was for your schooling?
Yes.
Okay. But it was after you sold the books?
There was still no schooling.
There was, so they told you this money you are making is for the schooling and
Yes.
there were no school at all?
Exactly. There was no school at all.
Okay.
I remember the last story about Wichita, Kansas is the day that I made a phone call to Kenya. You know, we always went to church and there was this woman and the woman was like, have you talked to your family lately? A white American woman. Honey, have you talked to your family? I was like, no. And she was like, I have some free minutes. I have 3 minutes on the weekend. You can talk to your family as long as you want.
Yeah.
And I called Kenya. I called my brother, my sister, my cousin, my friend, everybody. I called Oli Odipo. And then in just a few days, they slammed me with a phone bill of like $6,000. This was from AT&T.
To who?
The woman came crying, saying, she used my minutes to call international. So the 3 minutes was only calling within America. Yes.
Oh.
But she didn't know that, and I didn't know that.
She didn't know that you were going to call outside.
No, she knew I was going to call outside, but she thought the 3 minutes is for anywhere in the world.
Oh.
Yes. So if you are going to America and you are new, you have to buy a calling card.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't just call with the phone directly. So Eugene was so mad at me. Oh, so mad. But eventually they said that all the money that I made for the books will go to pay that phone bill.
Oh my God.
After the summer program, we went back to the school with 2 buildings. And the school with 2 buildings, and then they said we have to do Bible study. We have to knock on people's doors and ask if they want Bible study. I was like, no, please, I know, but I am not a pastor. I don't know how to do Bible study. And they were insisting that I teach people Bible study, and I didn't. I told them that was too hard for me. So they took us again to another church in a different location.
Yeah.
But what was surprising, okay, I may have understood that maybe my money went to pay the phone bill, but what about everybody's money? Because nobody was going to school. Even after the summer was over, we still had again to go sell books somewhere else.
And nobody got money at all.
Nobody got paid, and there was no school.
This is funny.
We are just working,
Yeah.
rolling our R's. So we went to the new church, which was in just within Arkansas. And that was the first time like I really experienced first-hand racism. You know, growing up in Kenya, I never knew that I am a black person. I just thought I am a person.
No one has ever told you black.
Nobody has ever
person.
told me that I'm a black person all my life.
Yeah, because exactly. You live with black people. No one.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So in Arkansas, I remember one day, because I love to sing, I got up to sing in church, and this white man shouted inside church, "Shut up and sit down, nigger." Okay, I didn't know the word
In the
nigger.
church?
Yes, inside the church.
Really?
Inside the Seventh-day Adventist, yes. Shut up and sit down, nigger. I still didn't know the meaning of the word nigger, but I knew it was a bad word because of the way that he had said it. Anyway, one day as I was selling books door to door, I met a white woman in a Baptist church. And this woman, so I met this white woman in a Baptist church, and she said, "Where is your accent from?" Because I met her and I began my script. "Hi, my name is Mercy. Rah, 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 rah." And she's like, "Wait a second, where is your accent from?" And I was just trying to ignore, because I had been told to be professional and don't get into personal matters when selling books.
Yeah.
And she's like, wait, the accent is so familiar to me. Where are you from? And I gave in and I just told her, "I'm from Kenya." "You're from Kenya?" So she hugged me, she took me to her husband. The husband was so happy. They said they're missionaries in Kenya. Yes, and they have just recently bought a house in Nairobi, and they love Kenya, they love Kenyans. They began playing Swahili music, and then they told me that, okay, they didn't see that I was too excited, so they said, "Something is not adding up. What are you doing in Arkansas?" "What are you doing in Arkansas?" I was like, "I'm fine, I'm going to school." They were like,
They didn't buy.
"Yeah, which school are you going to?"
Yeah.
Washita Hills. We never heard of that school before. So they insisted that I tell them what was going on. They took me somewhere to eat pizza, and that day, because I was so hungry for the first time in my life, I ate pizza, and it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad at all. So I ate pizza for the first time, and I told them that I had come to America hoping to go to school, but we are selling books at the door. But before I could finish telling them, Eugene showed up. "Mercy, we gotta go, get in the van.
Oh.
He sensed that something was wrong.
Yeah.
And the white people were like, excuse us. We are talking to her. She's not going anywhere."
Okay.
So he left like he was very, very frustrated, and then he came back again. Get up, we gotta go. And now they began to confront each other. They began to argue with each other.
Yeah.
"What are you doing to this young girl? We are missionaries in Kenya. We are going to report it to authorities. What are you doing to her? She doesn't look okay. Something is not right." And Eugene was like, "It is none of your business. La 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 la." There was a big argument. But Eugene won, and he took me to the van.
From them.
He took me from them, and we went in the van, but I had already told them where we live, the name of the church, where we live. They had said they were going to come and steal me at night. So at midnight, they came, they stole me, and that is how I left the program.
Okay.
I began a new life in their house. They
took you
to their house. Yes, it was.
Live with them.
Yes, it was an elderly couple, maybe late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah.
Their children were all grown and gone, and they had a big house. I had my own bedroom. It was so nice, so beautiful. They even allowed me to use their computer. They took me to their church. They raised money for me, like $1,200. They enrolled me in a real college. It's called Wichita Hills. Northwest Arkansas Community College.
Yeah.
So I began living in their house, but I was still scared. What if Eugene comes? What if he comes? Because he kept sending word everywhere that he wants me because he wants to deport me.
Oh.
I was like, no, I'm so scared. But they assured me that everything was going to be okay. So I lived with this missionary couple until one day I was using their computer and pornography popped up on the computer. I honestly had never seen anything like that in my life before. I had never seen it because I didn't even have a phone my whole life. So, I was a teenager. I was 18 at the time. When I saw it, obviously I was curious. So I was like, what in the world? Like, what? So I began watching it. And then the moment I clicked on it, computers a long time ago, there used to be a lot of virus. Virus.
Yeah.
So when I clicked on...
Sometimes they send such a things when they are sending the virus. Actually.
Oh, okay.
When you click on it, it is a virus.
Yes. So I think it was a virus, wherever. Because when I clicked on it, many windows of the same began to pop up on the computer. So you will find this pop up, this pop up, this pop up. When you close, even more windows are popping up on the computer. So I tried to restart the computer, turn it back off, turn it back on. There was even more pornography everywhere on the computer.
Yeah.
I switched the computer off and I gave up. When they came, they switched the computer on, and the first thing they saw, pornography everywhere. That is the day they kicked me out of their house.
Oh my God.
So white people, when they are angry, they will talk.
Yeah.
Is this what you're doing in our house? We are feeding you. We are taking you to school. By then, they used to drive me to school, pick me up, drop me off. They were so nice.
Yeah.
So I tried to tell them that I did not initiate the pornography, that it popped up. Yes. But they were not buying it. They were like, no, you typed this, you searched for it, this is what you are doing, you're not grateful, you're not even grateful, hey! And the pastor was like, is this what you do in my house? Is this what you do? So
it became a big issue.
It became a very big issue, and they said, okay, we can't do this anymore, you just gotta go. I had nowhere to go. So for the first time in my life, I ended up homeless in America.
Oh my God.
Because of this pornography issue. So I remember just going to school, not knowing what to do. I couldn't get to school. I couldn't walk to school. It was very far away. In Arkansas, there's no public transportation, period. Zero. No train, no buses, nothing.
Really?
Yes. None. Nada.
Oh my God.
Yes. Eventually, I thought of somebody from the same church that had children, and I asked her if I could babysit her kids, and she let me stay with her. It was a Hispanic couple. Hispanics, they have children back to back to back to back. Yeah. So they have like a 1-month-old, 11-month-old.
Very many kids.
And very close.
Yeah, very close, yes.
So this Hispanic couple, they had like 4 small children. I think all of them under 3 years or 4 years old. So they said, yeah, I can stay with them and babysit for them. I went there and I became a nanny in their house. But I was not getting paid. I was babysitting in exchange for a roof over my head.
Yeah.
So as I was babysitting, and they told me that they cannot drop me to school because they have to go to work. So that is how I began missing classes. They gave me a bicycle. I couldn't drive it to school. It was so cold. It was winter time.
Yeah.
I was really, really, taking care of 4 kids, little ones. So that is how I began to not go to school. Sometimes I go once in a week. Sometimes I don't go. One day I went to school, and luckily I met a Kenyan woman, and I told her my situation. She was a Kenyan woman who had come to the US as a kid. Maybe she was a year or 2 when her parents moved to the US. And she said that she could host me, and her name was Lensa. So that day, I told the Hispanic couple that I was going to live with another Kenyan woman. So I left, and I went to live with this Kenyan woman. She was really nice, and she hosted me very nicely. The challenge was still the transport to school.
Yeah.
She could not drive me to school because she was only coming like once a week and at different hours. The classes were not matching.
Yeah.
So I lived with her, going to school, missing school, going to school. It was like really, really difficult. I really like had the heart and desire to go to college. I really had the brains also for it because like since childhood I'd always done very, very well academically. So now I couldn't, and also another challenge was the international tuition. The international tuition, you know, if you go as an African, you have to pay like 3 times what an American pays. And then you don't qualify for scholarship, financial aid, whatever. So even the $1,200 was not even enough for 1 semester.
Yeah.
Anyway, one day I met a very handsome white man. Huh? His name was Gareth. And he became my first official American boyfriend, my first Muzungu boyfriend.
Okay.
Yeah. So I met Gareth. He used to have like a pickup truck. Pickup truck, and I asked him for a ride to school, and he dropped me off. Oh, he was tall, handsome. So I asked to give him some money, he refused. So he began to drop me off and pick me up.
From school?
Yes, from school.
Why you living in this?
With this lady,
with this
Kenyan,
lady.
yes.
Yeah.
So Gareth is the one who introduced me to an American life, you know. We went many outings together. The first time I ate McDonald's was because of Gareth. The first time I went to Jenny's restaurant. We went to many places. Like, he would drive me with his pickup truck everywhere. And the one thing that was crazy is that I had been told Arkansas is the most racist state in America, or one of the most racist states, but I never sensed any form of racism from Gareth.
Yeah.
All the time, he liked my black skin. He thought I was the most beautiful woman in the world. It was a nice relationship, yeah. And he also taught me to love the dogs. I went to all holidays in their house.
Yeah.
Eventually, I met another lady named Peggy. So the only thing with Gareth was, like, at the time, I think I was now 19 years old. He was 23. He was not ready to get married because I wanted to get married and settle down with him. But at 23, like, American is very, very young. They are not ready to get married. They are nowhere near getting married.
Yeah.
So he was not ready. He said he wanted to travel the world, decide on a career. So he wasn't anywhere. I saw that the relationship was not going to lead anywhere. So I left Arkansas. Big mistake. I left Arkansas to go to Dallas, Texas, to look for the Kenyan community. Because despite having Lensa, I still felt like I felt homesick.
Yeah.
I felt so homesick. But the good thing about Arkansas was that Gareth taught me how to drive. And with Gareth's help, I was able to get a job in the bookstore in the college.
Yeah.
You work only 20 hours a week. And he took me to driving test. I got my driving license.
Oh, wow.
I got my social security card in Arkansas. So, you know, in America, if you have your state ID, you have your driving license, you have your social security number, everything is so easy. Like, you can work anywhere.
Yeah.
I was able to also do CNA training, and I began taking care of the elderly people, and I bought my first car. I bought a Dodge Neon, a white one.
Wow. A young lady from the village is now driving.
Yes. That was huge.
Yeah.
And the women in the nursing home, they really loved me. A lot. The one thing I noticed is that these white people from the south side, they love blacks. They don't like Hispanics. Yeah, I think it's almost the same issue as Donald Trump.
Yeah, true.
They have a big issue with Mexicans and Hispanics. Gareth used to say all the time, all they do is breed. They breed. I want all the Mexicans out of my country.
Yeah.
But I want more Africans to come to my country. I honestly think that with Donald Trump as president, it is easier to get a visa to America than the Democrats.
If you're a black person.
If you're African.
Yeah.
I think it is easier than the Democratic Party. Because I think, sorry to go to politics, but the difference between, to me, in my opinion, The difference between Donald Trump and the Democrats is that the Democrats will pretend that they love you, but Donald Trump will tell you, I don't like you.
Yeah, exactly. He's straight.
He's
Whether
straight.
he likes you or not, he will tell you.
He will tell you straight to
Yeah.
your eyes, yeah? So yes, I think Africans would get more favor in the southern states, the Republican states. That is what my opinion. Because when I went, I left Arkansas and went to Dallas, Texas, everything got even more harder. In Arkansas, you know, now I was settling down. I had my car, I have my job, I have, you know, my place. Then I got to Dallas, Texas, and I found the big Kenyan community, but there was no love
Among the community.
among the Kenyan community. The Kenyans are not united in America as the Nigerians. It is crazy that even right now they are setting each other up to be deported.
Oh my God.
Yes. So the Kenyan community, I didn't feel welcome. There was only one guy who used to talk to me. His name was Steve Aseno. And he's the one who used to talk to me like a sister, like a small sister. Other than that, everybody, they were just like about their business. Yeah, we went to church together. I went to Arlington SDA Church. And it was just church and home. There was not so much interaction, socialization, like that. So after a while, I hated Dallas and I wanted to move on.
Again.
I wanted to move on, but I should have moved back to Arkansas.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I moved to Wichita, Kansas, where I was selling books before, with this Kenyan man who was supposed to be my boyfriend, and I found he was cheating on me with a white woman, and I just left. I left him again.
Okay.
Oh, Luo people, Luo men, even in America, you want to cheat on us. Hey. But I made sure that I beat him thoroughly before leaving him.
Did you beat him?
I beat him so bad. He was like telling me in Luo, you know I can't marry a white girl. Huh? I was like, talk to me in English. I was beating him so bad. Talk to me in English. Talk to me in English. He tried, I can never marry a white woman. He was telling me in Luo, I left him and I never looked back.
Okay.
That was the end of me dating black people in America. Like, I said, no. The white man treats me better.
Okay.
So I left again to New Jersey. I went to New Jersey. I actually drove myself in my Dodge Neon. East Coast, very far away. And New Jersey was a very cold state. New Jersey is close to New York City. I lived with a woman from Kenya who used to be a model, like a high fashion model.
Yeah.
So she told me to try modeling. So I tried to model. Yeah, I actually took some very nice photos with some very good photographers. And I went to some modeling auditions. What I noticed when I was trying to model in New York was that people were staring at me a lot. You know, right now I'm almost 40, but then I was like 20, 21. Yeah. So what I noticed was that black is beautiful. I went even for Tyra Banks' audition. You know, Tyra Banks used to host a show called America's Next Top Model.
Yeah.
So that was a very popular show. I auditioned for that show. I almost got chosen, but the paperwork, they want you to be a permanent resident or a US citizen. Otherwise, it could have been a good chance for me. So I left again New Jersey because it was so cold in the winter time. I remember one day driving and just snow, like a whole bunch of snow, coming to cover my windscreen like, then I have to get out of the car and scratch off the snow, and it's freezing cold outside. Yeah. Then I drive again for 2 minutes and another big snow. I was like, no, I can't do this. It was so cold and snowing. So I made a decision that I was gonna go to Hollywood and become a star.
But all these places where you are moving to, did you have connection or you just thought of moving there?
I didn't know anybody in California.
Really?
No.
Okay.
I didn't know anybody in California. I just decided to move to California. So I remember the first time that I landed in LAX. LAX is Los Angeles airport. Yeah. It's a beautiful airport. And I took a taxi, and the taxi was like, "Are you coming to become a star, to become a movie star?" I was like, "Yeah." You know, I had just seen the movie Dreamgirls. Dreamgirls is a movie starring Beyonce, Jennifer Hudson, Alicia Keys, all the big, beautiful black girls. And I was like, I want to be on the screen like them. So I was taken to a motel by the taxi driver from the airport. And when I went outside to buy food, I noticed something very unusual that I had not seen in Arkansas or in Texas or in New Jersey. I noticed that there was a lot of homeless people living on the streets in Los Angeles. And even crazier, there were Kenyan men, homeless. And one particular young boy from Kenya, he must have been under 25 years old, maybe around 21, 22, 23 there. I don't know how he knew I was Kenyan, but he spoke to me in Swahili. He was like, "Sasa?" I was shocked, like, "Sasa?" And I was like, "Hey, you're from Kenya?" "Yes." "What are you doing here?" And then he began telling me his story about how his father was a politician in Kenya and how the government killed his father. And after the government killed his father, you know, they had been brought to America for protection because the father was a very active politician. And then the Kenya government killed his father, and then the mother turned into drugs. So abandoned them. So him and his sister, they were just both homeless in LA. And I asked him, "Why don't you go home?" And he said, "Go home to what?" You know. There was no reason to go home. So he was there on the streets. I was able to buy him only dinner, one meal on that day. And I wished I had the ability to help him more than that. But it just made me so sad to see a young Kenyan man with a lot of brain and potential homeless on the streets and living on the streets. And very dirty, like never showered forever. Very smelling so bad. So I was still determined to become a star despite the shock. The next day, I took another taxi. You know, I still had my money. I had been working. So I took another taxi to take me to Hollywood. And my imagination that was when I go to Hollywood, I'm going to see Beyonce. I'm going to see Will Smith. I'm going to see... I thought I was going to see all the stars. However, when we got to Hollywood Boulevard, there was no star. No, none, zero, nada. I was like, what? Where's the stars? It was just like a very small place with a road and shopping centers, malls. Like they sell designer shoes and designer clothes on this side. And the other side there's a mall. I was like, where's the stars? I was asking everybody, where are the stars? Like, they live in their homes, they told me. They're not here on the street, they live in their houses. So they told me you can see the stars on the ground. So when I looked on the ground, I saw Beyonce written.
You can see the stars on the ground.
They are carved, their names are carved on the ground. So that is all the stars I was able to see. So I thought the best way to go about, becoming a movie star in Hollywood was to quit my nursing job. A big mistake. I think I was just young and I lacked guidance. And whenever I went to Kenyan community or a Kenyan church, I met these older people who have lived in America for many years. And when I told them I was trying to become an actress, instead of guiding me and telling me, no, you have to go about it this way, they just judged me. They said, you are lazy, you don't want to work. So I think what I needed in America was like a motherly figure, like somebody to show me the way, somebody to guide me. But my community tend to judge me instead of guiding me. So I want to make a special appeal to all Africans, If you see a new person who is so young, I'm not so young now, But then I was a very young girl. If you see somebody who is so young, who is a new arrival in a foreign country, just try to listen and try to guide them instead of being so harsh and so judgmental. Because I believe if I could have been guided in the right way, things could have turned out different. So when I noticed that the Kenyan community didn't really like me, that is what I concluded, that Kenyan people don't like me. That is the conclusion I made. I decided to just embark on my own journey and do my own things very blindly without knowing anything. So I ended up in a lot of trouble because of being a young girl, a first generation immigrant, and living alone in a foreign country. I took acting classes. I began taking acting classes in Hollywood, and I began doing student films. They have a lot of film schools in LA, and I began doing audience work and extra work. Audience work is like you go to a TV show and you sit in the audience and you clap. If you see everything, like all the TV shows in America, they are all, how do I say? They are all pre-planned. Like if people are clapping, it is an organized clap. It is not natural. If you see people are laughing or booing, there is the director standing up there on stage and saying, 1, 2, 3, go, boo! Like it is all organized.
Like they practice everything before they.
Before they do it, and there is a director who is telling you to do it. So even the laughing, the clapping, it is all, and you get paid to do that kind of work. So I was getting paid like there $8 an hour, which was not bad at that time. And after getting paid, I would go to acting classes. Housing was very expensive as compared to where I had lived in Dallas in my own apartment. A lot of people share rooms. There's a lot of roommates. And I noticed that sometimes even in a house, you have like 20 people living there. Everybody trying to chase their dreams, everybody trying to become a star, everybody trying to... So LA is not a good place to go unless you know somebody. A lot of people share. At one point, I remember I was looking for a roommate, and I found this white man, and he told me, I have a pet. When I went to house, he had a big snake.
A big snake? As
his pet. I screamed. I almost fell off from...
I would scream.
What? And he was like, what's wrong? A snake! So white people are so weird.
Very weird, by the way. Very weird.
He had a big snake in the house as a pet. Yes. Crazy and scary. So doing extra work was not giving me enough money to sustain me in LA. That is how I ended up again homeless in LA. Because I couldn't afford. I couldn't afford. And
house.
And I still wanted to become a star, and I didn't want to wipe old people's butts.
Okay.
I said, I'm not doing that, lifting old people and wiping. Okay, not that it is a bad job, just at the time I just felt like I want to become a star, like I'm so beautiful. You know, they had lied to me that I'm so beautiful in New York. So I ended up homeless in LA. If you can hear my story, I don't like to sugarcoat what I did wrong. Now, looking back, one of the biggest mistakes was quitting my job. You know, if you go to a Western world, you don't have an option to quit your job. You have to keep working. So I made a big mistake to quit that job, the CNA job. And that is why everything that happened, I believe, happened. I began getting a lot of deception. There is a website called Craigslist.org. Craigslist, then it was a hookup website. Right now they have eliminated the hookup place. It was a hookup website. So I would meet men on Craigslist, and I think it is only God who protected me. I would meet like a man on Craigslist. They would be like, okay, I'm going to change your life. You can live in my house. You can become an actor. You can do whatever you want. You can sing. Then you go to their house, they find you and they dump you. The same day, they throw you outside. As soon as they come, they're done.
Wow. You know, these things you are talking about, there are so many people who doesn't know that these things exist.
Yes,
They
yes.
think the way you thought America is, there are so many Africans who think exactly the way you were thinking about America.
Right,
So
right.
it's very good to have a person who has gone through these things
Yes.
so that you people who are watching, then you can know exactly what is happening.
So yeah, it is very true that a lot of white people do prey, and I don't mean praying, I mean pray with the E, on young African immigrants.
Yeah.
It is very true. It is not like they want to marry you, it is not like they want to be with you, but it is just like they have that fantasy. They just want to have sex with you, right? And
They just want to use you.
yeah, they just want to use you, and once you satisfy them, then that's it.
They dump.
That's over, yeah. That is over with. And they love black girls. They love black girls. And especially if you're young and you're black, oh gosh. Like all the men just want to sleep with you. And they will make all these big promises of what they're going to do and how they're going to change your life, how they're going to visit your country, and how they're going to do this. And then after they get what they want,
that's the end.
That's the end. And it is important. That is why it is really important to have older people guiding the younger generation.
Yeah.
To have guidance. And now, sometimes I wish I had a woman who was as open as me to talk about these issues when I was younger.
Yeah.
Because now I could have gone different. But that happened a lot and so many times, yeah? So many times, you know, meeting a man on Craigslist, and most of the time they even kill their victims.
Oh
so
my
I am just one of the very lucky ones, yeah? There's an incident
They
where...
kill.
Yeah, many times. Men from Craigslist, they murder victims. They sleep with you, they kill you, and they dump you.
This is America you are talking
Of
about.
course. I remember meeting one guy named Casey. Yeah, met him on Craigslist, and he told me how he was a real estate, you know, mogul in Beverly Hills. You know, Beverly Hills is where all the stars live. And he's so rich, and he was rich, has a very big car. He picked me up. He said, oh, he just wants a serious girlfriend, a relationship with an African woman. After we went to his house, just something felt like no. Something just, my spirit refused to sleep with him. So at one point, he pulled a gun on me.
Jesus.
Yes. He pulled a gun on me. And then for some reason, he again pulled down and he said, you're very lucky, you lacquer, because I could just shoot your brains out and throw you out and dump you, and nobody would ever find you, ever. Yes. So I think it was also the prayer of my mother since I was a child. I think it was my African ancestors protecting me.
Who were protecting you.
Yes. Also the prayer from the pastor in Nairobi. Like it was just by miracle. By miracle. Because I was thrown out sometimes at 3 a.m. in the morning. Sometimes, yeah, you know, like Casey pulled a gun on me. There's also another incident where I got kidnapped. Yeah. Some things I've never talked about. I got kidnapped by 2 Asian men from downtown LA, and they wanted me to give them all the African jewelry that I have. All the jewelry. If you have any necklaces, any earrings, any stuff from Africa, we want all of them. And I just lied to them, like, for whatever reason, I just fooled them. I told them, oh, I'm going to, just take me here. I have so many jewelry. I have this, and it is worth, you know, $1 million.
Yeah.
And they believed me, and when I went there, I was safe. And that is how I left. So many incidences, yeah. So many incidences. So if you are a young African woman and you are going to the West, okay, I know we love white people. You want to be with a white person, but just be very careful. It is important to do a background check. You know, they have websites where you can pay and you can do a background check on somebody.
On somebody.
Yes, and it can bring all the records, yeah, if they have criminal records.
Yeah.
So it is important, even if you are dating online, because nowadays we have many websites.
Yeah.
If you're dating online and you are getting serious, don't get involved with a serial killer, with a murderer. Just do a simple background check, just pay, and then make sure you are hooking up with the right person. As I continued living in LA, it reached a point whereby It reached a point whereby I met somebody who introduced me to strip dancing. Yeah. I had tried to go back to the church, yeah, after getting to LA. I had tried to go back to the church to see if I could get a job, yeah, of taking care of the elderly people, because at one point things got so bad that I thought, oh, I can do my nursing job. So I went back to the church seeking opportunity to take care of elderly people. The church that I went to had a lot of elderly people, but they threatened me with deportation. They said, oh, we're going to deport you.
Why?
You're supposed to go to school, you're supposed to not work.
Oh.
That is what they said.
Okay.
That was the last time I went to church, yeah, in America. I never went back to church again. I just moved on my own. One day I met a white man who said, oh, you are so beautiful. You can become a stripper. I was like, what's a stripper? Like, you can dance in a nightclub. I was like, no. Like, with my background, I was like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
But wait until I got like completely homeless. And then I was taken to live in a homeless shelter. Hollywood YMCA on 1553 North Schroeder Boulevard.
Yeah.
Hollywood, California, 90012. When I went to the shelter to live there, I noticed that they didn't like me there. Many of the people in the shelter, they are usually drug addicts. Yeah. I have never done any drugs in my entire life, never drank any alcohol, never smoked a cigarette, nothing. So when I moved to live in a homeless shelter, they felt, maybe, I don't know what they felt, but they didn't like me there. So I said, I have to find a way to survive so that I can get out of here. That is how I thought about the stripping, and I went to look for a job as a strip dancer. I got to a place called Hollywood Cabaret, and the moment I got in, they hired me, like, in less than 5 minutes. So when I got inside the club, it was very interesting. It was like a stage that is raised up. It's a circular stage, and then there is like a pole, a very tall pole. And then they had a very big bathroom with very big mirrors and a lot of cabinets. So I began my job on the first day. There were a lot of African Americans and white girls that were dancers. That is the day they taught me how to dance. I used to like dancing to Akon. Akon has a song that, you're so beautiful, beautiful, so damn beautiful. I enjoyed Akon music. I enjoyed this other song that will say, I'm in love with the stripper, she's playing. So as I was dancing there, I began making money. I would make $400 a day.
$400?
Yes, that's a lot of money.
Wow.
Yes. And you know, sometimes when you make easy money, you spend it also very easily. So what I should have done, now that I'm thinking about it, I should have started investing back home.
Yeah.
I should have bought land, you know,
yeah.
or started invest. I should have invested at home.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, I never want to go back to Kenya.
And you thought this money maybe will keep on coming in?
Yes, forever. So yeah, advice you can take from me, if your money is coming very fast, just invest with it. But I thought it would come always, but that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So I would spend that money as much as I got it. I would buy very nice things for dancing, very nice outfits, send some money home, just a little bit saved to move out. But I was not in any rush to move out because I had my own room in the shelter.
Yeah.
So I was, let me say, maybe comfortable a little bit, which I should have never been. I remember one day when this man in the strip club, like I noticed that a lot of white men, they like for me. So you know when you dance in the strip club, you have like the general dance, where you get on the stage and you are surrounded by all these men in a circular table, and then they throw money at you on stage. They're sitting a little bit down. Then when they throw money at you, you can come close to them, you can dance to them, you can, but you cannot take off your clothes on stage.
Yeah. And this money is for you.
The money is for you, yeah, the tips are for you.
Yeah.
Yes. The men, they pay the club when they come in, there's an entry fee.
Oh.
So all the cash that we make was ours, always. So then we had the VIP dance, and in the VIP dance is where you make a lot of money. There you have to be friends with the DJ, and the men, they pay per song. So if you talk with the DJ nicely, they can cut the songs to be really, really short.
Oh.
So that the man
okay.
So that the man can do so many songs, so you can make so much money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was doing that. One day I got carried away when I was dancing. I got carried away in the VIP. I had sex with this guy.
By one of the clients?
Yes. Oh. I didn't know there was CCTV. Oh. The staff, they were watching me.
Okay.
They were watching me on CCTV.
Yeah.
So the moment I was done, I was called to the office. Like, what are you doing? I said,
I'm doing. Not allowed.
I said, yeah. I said, I'm not doing anything. What do you mean you're not doing anything? Huh? Who said that you have permission to have sex in the club when you're? I said, I didn't do it. I didn't. And then they showed me the video. Yeah. I was so embarrassed. Luckily, I didn't get fired. They just gave me a warning. They said it is not allowed. Yeah, you can't do that. If you want to do that, you gotta go outside. I noticed that a lot of men were stalking me. Like when I'm leaving, so many men are following me after I leave my shift. Yeah, men are following me. They want to know where I live. Oh. So creepy, a little bit creepy. And then one day I met another white man. I was always obsessed with white men. One day I met another white man, and this white man said, how much money are you making here?
Yeah.
I said, okay, maybe $400 a day. He said, that's nothing. Huh? I know somewhere I can take you where you can make like even 1,000 plus more per day. I was like, what? I can make $1,000 a day? And he was like, yeah, let me take you there. So for me, when I saw a white man and I saw money, I was like, yes.
Yeah, this is where I want to be.
So I got in a car with this strange man, and we drove somewhere called San Fernando Valley. And I saw what looked like so many big companies, like Coca-Cola companies. So I saw so many big companies, and with the roof all the way to the top. And in America, they don't really have walls.
Yeah.
They don't have like places with the walls. A lot of places are pretty open. So this was a crazy, because it was a lot of very tall walls. I got inside with this man only to realize I was in a pornography studio.
Oh my God.
Where they shoot.
But he never told you?
No, he didn't tell me.
Okay.
He just told me we are going to make a lot of money. And he didn't explain how. So I was in a pornography studio, and I was like, oh my God. I met this director who was another white man. I can say, he said he was in his early 40s. And he told me that we are going to make movies, but he was just saying movies, not specifying which kind of movies.
Yeah.
So he said he has to do an audition to make movies. And to do audition, I have to take off all my clothes. So I noticed that the man who had brought me here had already left. It is like this man pays people to bring girls.
Oh.
The moment that he brought me, he got paid his money and he left.
He works as a middleman, like he looks girls and then he
brings them.
Okay.
Yeah. So he left. So I was in this big place, walls all the way up, all the gates locked, and I'm just alone with this man. and he's telling me to take off my clothes. And I don't have an option. You cannot, because where are you going to run to? Everywhere is locked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So I did as he asked. I took off my clothes. After I took off my clothes, he took off his clothes. So the audition is for him to have sex with me. And just as soon as he took off his clothes, I saw a very big dog. Huh?
And you fear dogs.
I fear dogs. The dog had his whole dick outside like this.
Oh my God.
Very big, and the dog, the mouth was outside. It was doing.
Oh my God.
I screamed. I was like, why?
The moment you saw it.
Gosh, I felt like the dog was gonna bite my pussy off. Bite my butt.
Yeah.
I was so scared because for me, what I saw was the dog biting me down there.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anything else. I was screaming. Why? Now imagine I'm naked. The man is naked. The dog is here. The tongue is out. He wants to start licking me, and I'm hanging on this man like with all my life, and I'm jumping and I'm screaming. I'm holding on the man. I'm like, why? I'm escaping the dog. The man is like, hey, calm down. He's not gonna hurt you. I'm like, no. Now the man is talking to the dog and telling the dog that this girl doesn't like you. Stop. But the dog doesn't want to stop.
Yeah.
The dog doesn't want to hear. The dog wants to. I was like, no. That day I was so scared. Like I have never been so scared like that in my life. Today I can laugh, make fun about it, but at that time, it was so scary.
It felt like you are in hell.
It's like I was facing my own death.
Yeah.
Because all I could imagine was being beaten off. Yeah? Maybe it's gonna... So when I tell this story, people always say, we know you slept with the dog. No, if I did, you would already see me somewhere.
Yeah.
So thank God, eventually, the man really talked to the dog and commanded the dog to calm down and took him somewhere and locked him up.